I'm Jerrey. I engage in photography mainly for my own pleasure. I've done a small amount of professional work, mainly creating images to use on the websites that I create for my small business. My practice is making images that interest me and are inspired by my travelling. Thus far, the improvements in my practice have been haphazard, learning things as I needed to. I enrolled on the MA because I want to bring more rigour to my practice. I want the discipline of having to create new projects, learn new skills and gain new knowledge. Now I want to focus on building a body of skills, being able to work to briefs and deadlines, and to having a critical engagement with my own and other people's work. When I reflect on my practice, a number of themes emerge: the natural world, cities, the sea, and aircraft. The natural world features heavily in my thinking and my photographic practice. I'm very mindful of the need to treat this world with respect. This is Tern Lake, Alaska. It's known for the reflections of the mountains, but they are at their best when there is no wind and the lake is perfectly calm. I was lucky on my visit when the lake was like a mirror. Cities are the human world, the place we have built to inhabit. They are as far from the natural world as it is possible to be, but I appreciate the contrast of nature and artifice. The natural world seems greener and fresher by comparison with the city. The city is more of a human achievement by comparison with the natural world. Both are real, both matter, and both are inspiring. New York is perhaps the quintessential city, vibrant, diverse, and exciting. This billboard rises above Times Square. An animated chocolate sweet surveys the capital of capitalism with a wry smile. I take a lot of pictures of the sea. I feel compelled to do so. The line of the horizon always retreating as you approach it, unapproachable unless you have a boat, that fascinates me. I have many pictures like this, but all are different. The sky and the sea are both endlessly fluid, constantly changing, making different use of the light. This was taken at Rottingdean on the south coast. It's not a beautiful beach, but it's easy to get to. There's part of me in this picture. I'm just relaxing on a beach, soaking up the sun. This is what I see when I'm happy. Humans shouldn't be able to fly, but we can. We made machines to help us do this. Aircraft are a peak of human achievement. I love to watch them. This classic Catalina was photographed at the Eastbourne Air Show. I waited for it to bank and show the upper surfaces of its wings illuminated by the afternoon sun. My research project is based in my love of the natural world. It's about planet Earth, our home. This is perhaps the most inspiring picture I've ever seen. It's the first time that human beings had seen the Earth as a distant place. It shows a beautiful world, but quite alone in the vastness of space. It is our home, but not a place we can treat exactly as we like. It has limits. It is finite. The development of the modern world, the world we inhabit with its cities, transportation and consumer goods, has taken place with a conspicuous lack of respect for the ecology of the natural world. Land is concreted over, rivers are polluted, and the products of relentless combustion are released into the atmosphere. Unsurprisingly, this recklessness is having severe consequences. In the UK, there's been a dramatic reduction in carbon dioxide emissions. There is some action on plastic pollution. Picking up other people's rubbish on the beach is almost fashionable. There are laws and government policy that mandate these positive changes, but I believe that change needs to go much deeper and that humanity needs to once again respect the Earth as an organism which has a unique and complex way of functioning. So my research project will be about the constant change of the natural world, a world of wind, tides, currents and shifts. Other photographers have already contributed greatly to raising our awareness of the value of our world. Robert Glenn Ketchum was recognised by the influential Audubon magazine as one of the 100 people who shaped the environmental movement in the 20th century, mainly for his work in highlighting the natural and fragile beauty of Alaska. Edward Batinsky's images of the effects of human activity on the planet are rightly recognized for the impact that they have. Carl de Keyser has travelled Europe's coasts, examining how past attempts to hold back the sea have failed and how we are likely to be equally helpless in the face of sea level rise. I'm inspired by Ketchum, Batinsky and de Keyser. These photographers attempt to do something positive with their art. Whilst the hazards of environmental damage are understood, the case needs to be made again and again for action. Photography still occupies a position of trust in that images are generally seen as being representative of reality. A powerful image can be highly influential by reminding the viewer of the extent and gravity of the issue. The working title of my research project is Going. This alludes to the idea that models are now available which can predict the impact of climate change on particular parts of the world. Climate change is an amplification of natural processes. Weather, ocean currents, flowing water and the seasons all affect human activities. If we disrupt these natural processes, we disrupt the very foundations of our relations with the planet. If farming land becomes unusable, if towns flood, or places become too hot to live in, we enter a period of chaos. No one likes to lose anything, be it literally a treasured or useful item, or metaphorically a person close to you through death. Losing and the fear of loss is disturbing and punctures complacency. My ambition is to create work that will be revelatory to its viewers and cause them to have a change of outlook. The contents of the project will be landscape photographs captured on a digital camera. The choice of sites will be determined by the outcome of extensive research to find specific examples of where a feature is predicted to be lost or irrevocably changed, or where substantial change has already occurred. Since the locations will be determined by the vulnerability or history of the site, I self-impose the creative constraint of not being able to decide on sites based on aesthetic appeal alone. The changes I am addressing may be due to one or more of the following factors: loss directly to sea level rise, loss due to climate change making the defence of a feature unsustainable, practices that are no longer feasible in a changed environment, historic change that illustrates the themes of my project. Typical research sources would be local authority land management and shore management plans, environmental agency, the Campaign for the Protection of Rural England, National Trust, the overseas equivalents of the above, academic, geographical and anthropological research into the likely effects of climate change, articles about climate change. For example, I researched Cookmere Haven in East Sussex, an area I knew to be vulnerable. I discovered that the area was covered by a shore management plan that concluded that the site was not worth defending. The plan predicted that, with maintenance of coastal defences withdrawn, the site would have become an intertidal zone as soon as 6 years from now and would be fully inundated by 2055. This evidence made Cookmere Haven an obvious candidate for the project. The work will consist of images presented with minimal but poignant text. For example, the name of the place, the elevation, the predicted date of loss. The above text format may be varied according to the subject matter, but will always be minimal. In theoretical terms, I will attempt to create a predictive gaze. The viewer will be encouraged to combine the image and the data I provide into an informed vision of the place as it will be in the future. In some instances, I will ask them to look back into the past to appreciate what change has already taken place. This project will seek to deliver a set of images that both celebrate the world around us and challenge the viewer to treat the world with greater respect.